Hi everyone. Hi
Hello,
Rajender ji, how are you?
I'm fine. Yeah. How are
Great.
you?
I'm very well, thank you. So we'll start with just introducing about
Okay,
Advaita Katha in brief,
okay.
myself, and then introduce you, and then
Hmm.
start with our conversation.
Yes, definitely.
And before that, thank you so much for taking our time and being present with us here today.
You're welcome.
Super. So Advaita Katha is a simple form of storytelling. While the
Okay,
form is simple, but it's a very powerful element of learning
okay.
because it offers us an opportunity to connect to like-minded characters and see the world with someone else's perspective.
Okay.
Um, and so you can relate to them, and probably it gives us learnings, and that's why
Yes,
we
yes.
chose storytelling as a form.
Thank you.
Um, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm a professional life coach certified by International Coaching Federation. And
Okay,
I facilitate behavioral trainings, behavioral skills trainings, and I'm a speaker and, of course, a host at Advaita Katha.
okay,
So, and then coming to you, I would like to
okay.
give an introduction about you. And if
Yes,
I missed anything by the end, please do add to it.
okay.
So, Rajender Singh Lahauria is an international airport professional with a degree from Macau and ECI. And you're an alumni from St. Edmund's College in Shillong.
Yes,
You have more than 30 years of experience in aviation, which includes air traffic control, airport administration, aviation safety, as an aviation safety
yes,
expert as well.
yes.
Multiple times in your career, you've had near misses.
No doubt in
And,
that.
with the dreams getting broken or you losing
Yes,
your grip on that dream for different reasons.
yes,
And what you shared with me that you've always wanted to wear a uniform. It has always
yes,
fascinated you, especially the armed forces.
yes, yes.
And you've been blessed with a beautiful voice. I've seen
Thank
a
you.
few of your YouTube videos where you've sung.
Thank you.
And maybe
Thank
if we
you.
get an opportunity, we'll request you for a couple of lines.
Sure.
And for fitness, you do running, you do long distance running,
Yes,
which is
yes.
great. And I've also seen you, I think, pulling in other team members into that activity with you.
No doubt in that.
I've seen pictures.
Yes,
I don't know how happy they are with
no
you,
doubt in that.
but yeah. So without taking any more time, I would like to start this conversation and go to that aspect of your life in your younger days. Um, may seem a little far today, but then I'm
Yes,
sure those memories are very fresh for you. And
no doubt in that. Yes.
if you could briefly share with us, how did that journey of near misses start? Your wanting to join the armed forces and everything.
Uh, Actually, I was brought up in cantonment area. That was my father was not a commissioned officer; he was a non-commissioned, actually in army area.
Okay.
So that was in Assam Regiment Center in Happy Valley, Shillong. So right from childhood, we have been watching the people, young officers. They wearing the stars. During that time, it was not. It was second lieutenant, then lieutenant, young officer. That craziness I was having. So one day I will wear a uniform with the stars on my shoulder.
Yeah.
So that was my dream. And I was a very average student in the school. It's not that I was very, intelligent or a very extraordinary person. I was an average student. So starting from the, I told you, we used to go for early morning. We used to see the people, young soldiers, they used to go for physical training, PT and running.
Yeah.
And the same thing we used to follow. I remember even when I was in class 8 or 7, we used to do all sort of a rope climbing, what a normal army training people do. We
Yeah.
used to do that monkey climbing, rope climbing, then jumping hurdles and all these things. We finished in the childhood itself.
Yeah.
Over that, we used to early morning in the chilling cold in the winters, we used to go for a jogging, long distance running, and we used to come back to completely sweating. So that was my childhood actually, in which we were brought up because of the environment. You see the people around in the same way.
Yeah.
Now coming to my, passion, of course, my choice, I was interested in army to join as an officer. So when I was in class, probably 12th, I appeared for the NDA exam. So that time I couldn't qualify written, probably because I was an average student, I told you. Then I joined in a BSc, and then I did my graduation. And then I appeared for Combined Defense Services examination. I qualified that examination. And then I was called for the SSB interview in Bhopal. That was 33 SSB board.
Okay.
So I remember during that time, I went from this Guwahati to Bhopal by train. Even some of the money was stolen on the train, and I got some money from the co-passenger. And during that time, we used to get reimbursement of the ticket. What ticket you have purchased from, say, Guwahati to Bhopal and back. So when I went to that SSB center in Bhopal, so those tickets were reimbursed. So I got the money back, and then like that. So the SSB interview, they conducted probably for 3 or 4 days, I think. Various type of jobs were there, group tasks and then individual tasks, leadership quality, individual speech, etc. So in the last day, they announced, the name of the candidate who have been selected. So out of 30, we were a batch of 30. Only 3 were selected.
Oh.
And among that, my chest number was 17. And they probably initially they announced chest number 7, then chest number 13, and just chest number 17. So I was very surprised actually how I got selected, because I have seen the people, the boys, those have come from very good background, very smart looking, fair complexion, and fluent English they used to speak. I was very surprised. But I was the happiest person that time.
Of course.
Means my dream is fulfilled. Okay, after 1 or 2 years, I'll be able to wear a stars on my shoulder. So they kept me actually in there itself. They held me for the medical checkup. And that was medical checkup board was held up, and that was for 2 or 3 days further. And when the medical was over, they declared you cannot join the defense because you have got a flat foot. They were saying some more curve is required in your feet. That was the worst part in my life. I was almost crying. Means, what has happened? What I will do now?
Yeah.
And I was so upset that time, because all alone in that place, I was not knowing how to return back to Shillong.
Yeah, and the dream you just achieved, and right in front of you, it's like
yes,
taken back.
I was completely dream. Everything had been done, and now suddenly this thing happened. After coming back, they sent me a letter. You can go for appeal medical board within 6 months. I did apply. They called me in the Chandigarh PG, and there also the doctor checked up again by using various process and all. They say, I'm very sorry, I cannot help it. There's the rule in the army. They say, I told you, ask any of a soldier to run with me. I bet that I can defeat them in running. Oh, he said that no, he's very sorry. I know very well, but then this is the rule which has been made by the Britishers. So we cannot help it. So again, I upset. The whole life was shattered sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Then I did join MSc, and then after finishing MSc, even father was telling to do some job and all these things. Then I was very much upset. What to do now? I took up a job of a school teacher on a dog basis. And that was far away in Jawai Hills. In Meghalaya, you'll find there are various districts are there. This is Jaintia Hill district, and the headquarters of Jaintia Hill district is Jawai. So there was a primary school. So I got a job on a dog basis in a primary school. So there I was teaching for almost 6 months. And there I saw an advertisement for the post of sub-inspector of police.
Okay.
So I applied for that, and I qualified the written examination. And then I was called for the physical test in Shillong.
How old were you that time?
That time you can say after doing MSc, how much must be the age? Without any failure, if you count, what must be the age?
About 22 maybe?
Something. Maybe before.
Younger, yeah. Slightly younger.
Yeah. So after that, I was a good runner in the whole college. Everybody knew in Shillong that I am a good athlete. And probably they also must be knowing police person also. They have been watching me in the college running and all. I was selected there because again the uniform was my craziness. So in the police, I joined, and then there was a 1 year training actually. After 1 year training, I was awarded as best cadet sub inspector, and with a lot of awards like best in law, best in firing, and all round best cadet.
Very nice.
But in 1 year, somehow I was not able to adjust that sub inspector post because there was a lot of political pressure and all. I mean, in every moment you arrest somebody and then you get a call actually, not only from the, I mean, directly from my boss actually, that
Release
this
them.
is not, you have to release it. So I thought actually then, if at all I want to, I mean, come as a uniform personnel, I should be in the higher rank. So I started preparation for the civil service examination. And I remember that time it was a correspondence course, a brilliant tutorial. So I enrolled that one. I used to get the copies in my room and I used to study at night time whenever I'm free with my own optional subject, physics as an optional actually. And in the meantime, when I was preparing for civil service, then I saw an advertisement for the aerodrome officer. In the that time it was airport, National Airport Authority. So I appeared. So I got selected in aerodrome officer, and I left that job, police job, and I was called for the training in the Civil Aviation Training College in Allahabad as an aerodrome officer. So this is how I entered in aviation. Aviation, I was not doing anything. EBCD, nothing I was not doing about aviation. Even in interview, when they asked me, what do you know about aviation? And that time, practically saying I have not traveled even in aircraft during that time. So that was the first time I traveled for the appear in the interview. I traveled from Guwahati to Calcutta. I traveled by flight, the Boeing 737. And I told I don't know anything about it. This is the first time I'm traveling by flight. So those is the turning point actually how I came in the aviation. It happened like that.
I think even in that post, what you shared with me, that post you completing the course, you had to apply for the 3 metro cities or something, and then
yes, that is another,
that little twist
what
over
you
there
said.
also.
Exactly right. See, now I am holding the post of general manager. Had I been in army, I would have been probably either brigadier or maybe major general, something like that. But what I said, no, man proposes and God disposes.
Yes.
In fact, whatever I have thought in life, no, I mean, God has kept me something else. And initially I used to think that is bad, but then I think that is better. God has made me better than what I expected. Yes, what I was telling about when I completed my training in Allahabad, I am from Punjab actually, even though I was born and brought up in Shillong. So we had an option during that time. They gave me option. You can opt for either of the 4 metro city, either say Delhi, that time Bombay, Madras or Calcutta. So I opted for Delhi. So why I opted for Delhi? So that I'll be nearer to my hometown in Punjab. But when the list came out, I was posted in Calcutta. So again, I mean, that was a big surprising what to do now. Fed up. I came and joined in Calcutta. I mean, altogether, I was not thinking, even a single word of Bengali, I was not thinking about in Calcutta at that time. All stranger, I came with my other colleagues actually. So after 2 years of my service, then we have to mandatorily go for a hard station. That time it was called unpopular station. So there are a lot of hard stations in India. Like if you go to western side, northern side, there is Pantnagar, then all small places, Silchar, and I mean many places are there. So I opted for Pantnagar so that again I'll go towards my side, Punjab side. But when the list came out, surprisingly, my name was in Silchar, Assam. And again, how the life changes. I mean, what I said, a man proposes, God disposes. I mean, when I was in Shillong, no, so I used to think Silchar is a very, very dull city, a dirty city, this and that. And when I got Silchar, I was again upset. I was almost, what is happening in my life? And then somehow with a heavy heart, I went and joined there. Then in Silchar, I completed 1 year, 1.5 years. Then I came across a girl actually. And that girl happened to be my wife. I got married also in Silchar.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
the place which I was thinking is a very upset. How changes come up. I
Yeah.
just came back and then I got married to that girl, Sukanya Sharma.
Yeah.
So it happened like that. So, I mean, where your life will take it, in which way, always in my life, I have found that what I thought, uh, I, I got more than that, or what I thought I will get, I didn't get. Even for that purpose, when I was air traffic controller for a very long duration until you can say 2015. Almost I was the instructor, a radar instructor. Then I was in the aviation safety, but mostly everything is related to the air traffic controlling only.
Yeah.
So in the 2015, there was a advertisement for the, this airport actor.
Hmm.
There's a selection post. So I appeared. I thought I again may get my northern region somewhere in Punjab, Amritsar, like that. I appeared the interview, and when the list came out, my name was on the top, and I got the hardest station, that is the Patna.
Oh, okay.
So Patna is, people where my colleague used to say, I don't know whether to congratulate you or not. Because one way you have become airport director, another way you have got such a station that everybody is scared of going to that station.
Yeah.
Because Patna, as such, the airport itself is very constrained airport, a small runway, very limited parking bay. A building is completely constrained. Traffic is increased like that. Over that, that's a very, very politically,
Yeah.
active place actually.
Of course.
And my office is just attached to the terminal buildings. Anytime it is right in the middle of city. Anytime the political leader or anybody they can flock to your office. Anytime the reporter they can come to your office. Very close proximity in the city actually.
Okay.
So initially, I was finding no doubt in that. I was finding it tough, but then I started learning the diplomacy, how to deal with those people,
Hmm.
and probably because of my one passion I have got singing actually.
Hmm.
Probably I think that helped me a lot actually to get a good actually contact with the people there because when I used to go some get together, I sing one or two songs actually. They used to come, "Arey, how are you? Who are you?" etc. etc. So that probably helped me a lot actually to get a lot of love and all this thing in Patna actually.
To
I mean,
make
a lot of people
friends,
they
you
came.
could, yeah, settle
It
down.
was
Yeah.
very interesting in that 4.5 years I completed there with a very, very without any major incident or something. It was very nice tenure. And I still remember that was probably people used to say it's a very bad place, this and that.
Yeah.
But the type of thing, the love and everything, and the thing which I have learned in Patna, I think that will help me throughout my future career. I think the administration which I have learned in Patna, I think.
Yeah. Once you've dealt with a difficult situation
Yes,
and
yes,
you've
yes.
done well there, then you kind of
Correct, correct. Yes,
nothing
yes,
else
yes.
can phase you.
No doubt in that. That is the thing. No doubt in that.
Yeah. So now going back to, those instances when you said it was the most painful time when the SSP thing didn't happen.
Yes, yes,
And then, of course, the couple of other narrations of having
yes,
a
yes,
difficult time in the police and everything,
yes, yes.
having to let
Right,
go of
right.
your dream because it was not very
Yes,
amicable space.
yes,
So what happens is when people go through difficult times, there's a story, especially
yeah,
repetitive issues like that. They build a story in their head or a narration that I everything I try falls. It doesn't succeed. It fails.
yes,
I'm not
yes,
going to try again. So you can go into different directions, and it can decide how you will shape up as in your future as well.
yes.
For
Correct.
example, even your Patna posting, everybody telling you that it's such a, I don't know whether to congratulate you or to say
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
So, but you made the best of it. So,
Yes,
as a youngster, then what what helped you move forward? Because there will be a lot of youngsters or people in different stages of life or careers or whatever in personal life who are facing challenges, and sometimes it breaks them, and they're looking
yes,
for
yes.
that somebody to kind of understand the situation and say, how do I move forward, what do I do? So how did you break through?
Yes. I'll tell you, I also broke up many times. I've been not only in that, I mean, disqualification in SSB, even Patna also initially I faced a lot of problem. There
Yeah.
was an election, assembly election 2016. There also I faced a lot of problem. I was very much upset. In some of the cases was filed against me, this and that. But somehow they were the people actually why I consulted the people. I got a lot of support from my family actually, how to handle that one. I mean, moral support. You should
Yeah.
not get support, I mean, upset.
Yeah.
Then I got, because frankly saying, because I was having a good contact with almost everybody. And good contact is not only by having a giving a call, hello, how are you? You have to make a contact from the heart actually.
Yeah.
That is required.
Yeah.
So by that one, I came out of that because of my good relation. And as an administrator, there are certain rules which is defined by the law, whether it's within your organization or outside organization. But more than rules is that how you keep relation with the public, right from the ground level up to the topmost people actually.
Yeah.
That is the very important quality an administrator is required to have. Until and unless you go and mix up with the people, it's
Mm.
not necessary when you have a job then only you go to that
Yeah.
people actually.
Yeah.
If you have to have a good become a good administrator, without reason also you have to go and contact the people.
Yeah.
And some people may hesitate, I am such a, why should I go and meet that person? It should not be the attitude. I mean, you go and meet the people, chit chat with them, have a cup of tea. And people like that one. When the people come and meet you without any reason,
Mm.
just because you like those people, and that make a good relation. And that is that is a big help as an administrator in any airport, or for that matter, forget about airport,
Yeah. And
for any organization. Until you have a good relation with the
absolutely.
people, public, I mean,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to, run any station.
Yeah. In fact, this reminds me basically, it's like when
Hmm.
I'm coaching or training people on leadership skills, always
Yeah.
tell them that, first invest in your team, in your people, in your relationship. First build those relationships, then expect to
Yes, yes.
withdraw anything from that. Just
Yeah,
like money,
that's
you got to first invest it. Then only can you
yes,
have an
yes, yes.
account where you can make some withdrawal. So,
Exactly right.
yeah.
Basically, I'll tell you, not only with your own people, when you are working in a public, when you are in the public service, you have to have a good relation with local people. That's very important.
Yes. Yes.
There are the people, in the airport, a lot of taxi driver come, they have got their separate union. Auto
Mm.
drivers come in the Patna, I'm telling, they have got their
Yeah.
separate union. It's all how you behave with them. With your
Mm.
good behavior, you can get their job, any job done. I mean, if you don't want, if you want to implement certain things actually, it's better before you implement, you call them, you tell them this is the way we are going to do this one because this is a requirement. And they'll be
Yeah.
very happy. Normally,
Yeah.
what happens, we don't call the people and we straight away implement that particular rule from certain day. And then
Mm.
some agitation start.
Yeah. So
So
you've
if you
taken
have a
them
good
on your
interaction
side
with everybody,
beforehand
I
itself.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wonderful.
even now also, now also I do the same technique I'm following. See, suppose you have got some work with the DGCA or some higher authority, not necessary from our organization. Normally, before writing any mail or before writing any letter, I used to contact them on the phone. I told I have got this problem. I am going to write in this way. Will it be okay?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
he himself suggests, no, it's better if you write in that manner. And
Yeah.
your work
Because
is done. Rather than
you're
making a lot of
collaborating
correspondence.
instead of challenging the other person's
Exactly right, right.
authority. You're
So
taking, yeah.
exactly right. So that makes a lot of difference. Then
Yeah.
everybody likes, somebody should contact me, somebody should like me, somebody should know who I am.
Yes.
And there's no harm actually when you
Give
meet
me
the people.
importance.
I mean,
Give me
yes,
respect.
exactly right. Give respect, give importance.
Yes.
Everybody will become a friend. I mean,
Wonderful.
there's
Yeah.
no that. So that is the thing actually.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been in Patna and other difficult airfields.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
incident that comes to mind? It could be a tricky incident or a funny incident that you had, interaction with pilots or aircrafts.
Yeah. Yeah. That is another. I mean, Captain Amit is also there. with the pilots, in the beginning, when I joined, I had my rating on the primary radar. I mean, where, of course, that time even the flight aircraft was very fewer actually. So in the primary radar, when the aircraft size is bigger, you get a bigger blip. When the aircraft size is smaller, you get a smaller blip. And there was no modern technique, by pulling some line and seeing the heading of the aircraft. So those days was very interesting. We used to remember the heading of the aircraft from the watching the movement of the aircraft on the radar screen itself. And of course, there was a provision of turning some round thing and checking the heading. But that time we were having a intuition. Okay, if I give this heading, that will straight away go to the gate heading. That will straight away aircraft will establish the localizer. So those were the days actually. And of course, we used to remember those call sign of the aircraft because we used to get the call sign. So we have to remember, we have to keep strip in front of the radar, and then we used to remember this aircraft was descended to 2000 feet, 3000 feet, 150, 140, etc., etc. And we used to strike up. And that was very interesting job actually. But the changes come when this, after this Charki Dadri media coalition, it happened actually. Then the secondary radar came actually, which was actually computer based.
Okay.
So we, the people, those have got rating on the, primary radar. Initially, we were finding difficult because now you have to operate on the keyboard, and along with talking, along with writing, then you have to type something on the keyboard also. And I was not very acquainted with typing and all these things. And we were sent to some for training in AppTech. Some company was there. We were sent for about 2 weeks. This one, how to learn this computer. And after that, we sat on the radar. And really, I will find difficulties. Suppose one aircraft is given descent to say flight level 150, you have to enter on that call sign also. We in the radar, we used to get the call sign, and then you have to enter that aircraft is given 150. Then allotting the secondary surveillance radar code, SSR code. Then even formally we cannot monitor the speed of the aircraft. Rather, we have to simply ask the aircraft what's the speed you are maintaining.
Okay.
But subsequently, after introduction of the secondary radar, we can virtually see on the radar screen
speed also. Okay.
Speed of the aircraft also. So many times it happened once or two times when this secondary radar came up. So we used to ask the pilot that you have been given descent to flight level, say 120, whereas you have crossed 120, you are descending further. And that time it was very interesting. Some of the pilot, they was not liking this one.
You know too much about us now.
Yeah. The captain, they were not knowing that we were can monitor on the radar. Even to that extent, suppose I have given someone aircraft, say climb to flight level, say 350.
Yeah.
By mistake, suppose the aircraft has punched 370. So immediately we used to get alert on our screen. So we used to tell pilot, okay, you have done this one. And initially they were not feeling very good actually, because we are challenging their authority.
Yes.
So that was very interesting when in the transition phase. That was very interesting part. So even when 2 aircrafts are approaching or 3-4 aircrafts are approaching, we used to tell, okay, maintain this, maintain this. They are not maintaining. So we used to tell them, as per my radar screen, you are indicated airspeed is this one. And again, that is a not very, the captain of the pilot, he may not be very happy to hear from the controller that I am maintaining, because I can monitor that one. So that's the interesting thing we used to have. But slowly, everybody has come to know actually that this is. And the thing is that during now the traffic has increased so much. We cannot, with the primary radar or with the procedural control, it's very, very difficult to manage. The secondary radar is a must.
Yes.
Now issue is that with the secondary radar, with the new controller which are coming actually up. Now, if you ask our batch to sit on the radar, even without pulling any line here and there, we can keep the heading here and there, turn left, heading 300, turn right, whatever heading, because we remember the heading simply by seeing the radar screen. But the new controller which are coming up, they are lacking this one. They are always pulling some, that is called RBT line, their radial bearing and this track line. And then they are defining what heading the aircraft is supposed to be given. The problem is that suppose now if you are handling say 12 to 13 aircraft together, I mean, how many aircraft you will simply pull and all there, your concentration is lost actually, rather than concentrating on your traffic. If you have to put your hand also in one side, right hand on the mouse and pulling this strip. So that's in my view, that's becoming a distraction.
Mm.
So in my view, now also when the basic training is being inducted to the controller, rather they should be given training without pulling that line and let them remember the heading properly by heart. They should know if the aircraft is flying, what 5 degree left or right I should give so that the aircraft after 50 miles will be in certain position. I mean, that should be in the mind of the controller rather than pulling that line. Because the pulling the line is okay, that gives you accurate, but then is a lot of distraction on the radar screen. So, I mean, that is my personal this thing. Anyway, because the new generations coming, and the same way it may be with the pilot also.
Yeah.
Probably there was no autopilot system. Now a lot of
Yeah.
things has come up actually.
Yes. A
I
lot
mean,
of technology
lot
changes.
of technology.
Yeah.
Personally, I have seen when we used to tell the old pilots, you establish this radial, they comfortably establish, very smoothly they establish. Whereas in the new this one, when first of all, radial probably Captain Amit must be able to tell better. I mean, new generation people, I mean, probably the new flyer, they have probably forgotten what radial. I think they simply work on the radar environment. From point to point, they fly and turn right, turn left, any heading and track and all this thing.
Yeah.
So that is, in my view, I think is coming like
Yeah.
that.
The dependency on technology is much more now.
Much more. But
And
I'm scared actually should not be so much dependent. Okay, that is very much required based on the traffic which is increased. But still a person should have because human mind is not above any. He's the, I mean, that's the
finally,
very
it's
much required. Finally,
Mm.
anything is right. Human mind always, you should know at least basic this thing also. I mean, it's not that the technology with you simply follow the technology. Once suddenly your radar goes off the air and then you are simply sweating what to do now. It should not happen.
I
So
agree. I agree.
that's the thing. Yeah.
Yes. So the air traffic controller job itself is very stressful.
Yes.
And the postings in different cities which are difficult and so on and so forth. So air safety is a stressful
Yeah, no doubt in
aspect.
that.
Airport administration is. How do you address these stresses in your life? How do you not let it take over your mind, because that's
Yeah.
what's happening in a lot of people's lives these days. Stress has become a very
Yes.
big
Big.
challenge.
No doubt.
Um,
You are very much said. Of course, with the increased traffic, of course, the people, it's a stressful job, no doubt in it, because when you are handling the aircraft, especially night traffic, there's a lot of overflyings and all. And a lot of converging traffic is there. And then you have to provide the adequate separation also. You have to see when the aircraft is passing through the other level. I mean, the rate of descent, there should not be any occurrence of, say, this one, either RA or TA in the traffic collision avoidance system. That should not happen. Otherwise, that become a part of incident actually. For that, actually, the main thing, first of all, if you want to reduce, say, first of all, you have to be your master of the job. Until unless you are a master of job, actually, your stress will always go up actually. Master of the job means, in the sense means, when you are working on the radar, no, it's not, I mean, completely theoretical part. Many of the things you can, through your experience, you learn. I mean, if you are handling 5 to 6 aircraft, what, like myself, I have initially in the radar, in the rating itself, when we used to get the training, actually, our instructor used to say, if say 5, 6 aircrafts are coming together, actually, if you get a parallel heading, say making them 4 or 5 nautical miles apart, they will never compete each other if they are on the same heading, because the wind speed and all will be same on the same track. So there is no chance of conflict. So you'll be least bothered. Whereas if you give slightly converging heading, I mean, your eyes will be always over the two aircraft that somewhere they are going to conflict. I mean, that is simply increasing your own stress. I mean, this is the one I'm talking from the radar controlling part of thing.
Common sense kind of a thing
Common
that you
sense is there.
learned. Yeah.
It's not written on any books actually. So parallel headings, you, if say in the from the site for Calcutta airport I'm talking about, If four aircrafts are coming from southern side, either you give a say lateral separation by bringing them about 8 to 10 nautical miles apart and bringing each other, and you give parallel heading along the runway. And in northern side also, in similar way, if you go parallel heading, they will never conflict each other. So that's the, that reduces speed stress when you're working on the radar.
Yeah.
Secondly, captain must be knowing that tendency of giving a direct routing, because we have got a certain established air routes, and established route has got established separation also. Now, if you give a direct routing to certain aircraft to expedite that aircraft, of course, that's always helpful for the pilot, for the public, everybody. Fuel is also reduced. But that direct routing is going to cut across many routes. Now you have to, keep an eye on crossing point of each and every route.
Yeah.
Which aircraft is going to complete. So many times activation of TICAS actually happened during that time also.
What is TICAS, if you could tell the non-aviation people?
Yeah, it's a TICAS is the traffic collision avoidance system. It's the airborne equipment actually.
Okay.
So when the aircraft, by whatever means, it has been becoming very closer to each other. So traffic collision avoidance system will advise the pilot what action to either climb or descend or turn right or turn left. This is a very mandatory requirement nowadays. Again, problem is that whenever there is a TICAS alert is there. Like initially they used to get the resolution advisory, then TA, traffic advisory, then resolution advisory. So whenever you are giving descent to one aircraft, say suppose one aircraft is descending to, say, for example, say 150, and the aircraft there is a aircraft at 140. No, even though it's not mandatory for a controller to tell traffic information about 140, but it's always advisable.
Yeah.
Descent to fly level 150, maintain fly level 150, due traffic, maintaining fly level, crossing traffic or whatever. Yeah. 140. In that case, what happened? The pilot will remember and he will maintain the proper rate of descent. Yeah. Because the rate of descent also activates the TICAS. And that become incident. Again, you have to report, and then there will be investigation by DGCA. What was the rate of? Yeah. And same way, one aircraft may be climbing also, one aircraft will be descending also. And the same thing we used to consider even when an aircraft is flying over high seas and there is a lot of turbulence weather. So always passing the traffic information is always advisable, because that will avoid that activation of the TICAS. This is one part. This is not written in a book, but this is always advisable. And if you transmit this one, no incident happen, everything is going, your stress level is automatically reduced. This is,
one you said is basically knowing your job very well beyond the books.
Yeah,
and beyond the,
that's why I'm telling, your experience will tell you many things. For example, about the runway incursion also, very common thing. The pilot enters the runway without, say, this one, without permission. Normally, ATC, air traffic controller, apart from giving the separation and all, we also act as a safety net for any incident or accident to happen actually. Like Swiss cheese model is there now, where the safety. So we are one of the safety nets actually. Yeah. For example, when the aircraft is entering the runway, so if you have given the aircraft, say, taxi via Alpha to holding point, runway 19 left. And there is a landing, for example. Even though it is, and from the movement of the aircraft, I have seen personally many times, you can see that the aircraft is moving very fast on the taxiway. So it is likely that, something tendency may be there, he may cross the holding point. So there is no harm to transmit, hold at holding position due arrival. Yeah. For simple word, this due arrival is not required, it's not mandatory as per AGA. But if you transmit this one, immediately it will strike the pilot's mind. Right. No, my clearance is only up to the holding point.
So go beyond your job in a way.
Yeah. Like, similarly, if the aircraft is lined up and the arriving aircraft is, say, closing fast, if you tell the pilot to reduce speed, and don't tell any reason, that will not,
it doesn't make sense
the pilot. That will not hit the pilot.
Urgency doesn't get through.
Urgency. If a simple word you say, reduce speed due departure. Yeah. And you tell the departure also. Many times it helps actually. And this will help always, This will reduce the stress also. You also relax. Okay, he is rolling, he is around 3 or 4 miles. Okay, clear to land. But if you don't transmit, it's unnecessarily departing is also, and he is also getting stress. I mean, he is coming, he is not rolling. I mean, what to do now? So this thing, I mean, these are certain tips actually, which is not written in the book actually. But this is the required actually, what is required. This is one part on there are thousands of things to tell about air traffic controlling and how we interact with various incidents. I've got thousands of example actually.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
many times mistakes happen with us, many times with the captains and all these things. But apart from that, to become stressful, it is required. I mean, you have to have certain passion. I mean, your hobby may be anything. Like you know very well, my hobby is the singing actually. You have to have some hobby. You relax actually. So that will always keep you cool. When you meet the people, you always think that you will get some positive thing from them. You meet any person, I mean, you always think that he is giving me some good thing, some positive vibes he is giving to me. And like I used to go for jogging also. That also helped me actually in stressful. So when you're going in a relaxed mind, you're technically sound, you are experienced. I mean, then your stress level reduced drastically, and you have no more stress actually.
So doing something little creative like singing, and then
very much required.
Some physical activity for fitness and releasing stress.
Yes, that will always keep your mind cool. And that is required in aviation. I mean, whether you're flying or you're the air traffic controller.
Any stressful job, any job that
any stressful,
which is every job today.
Yes, it's very much required actually. You have to be stress-free. So this is the way actually how I lead my life actually, and how this is the one. And of course, there are a lot of changes come in the regulatory authority also. When I joined, I mean, paperwork work was very less. We used to get rating on just by conducting. We used to be more practically oriented. But recently, what happened? We have to maintain a lot of papers. You have to make a log entry, and then individual log book is there. Then you have to remember your proficiency check. How many hours within 6 months you have to do proficiency check, the recency, and then of course now BA test is there. That is for captains also. I mean, your breath analysis test, then psychoactive test. So I mean, this thing is giving some additional headache.
Has increased.
Yeah, this is giving some additional headache on the controller part. So all these factors is there, but then you cannot help it. There's a regulatory requirement. So we have to do with that. But in my view, that is unnecessarily, giving a lot of stress actually. I mean, on the people, rather than practically when you are working on the radar screen, rather than practically concentrating on the traffic in your mind, somehow you're telling my time is going to be now more than 2 hours. So as per that rule, I am not supposed to require to be on the radar for more than 2 hours. Now again, he'll be searching, looking at the supervisor who is coming to relieve me. But when we were working, actually, we used to continuously work even for 4-6 hours, like on the radar actually, and comfortably, because this thing was not in our mind. We used to enjoy handle traffic. So nowadays, this thing has come up actually. Somehow it is distraction actually from the controlling.
But I guess these rules are there also for.
Yes, right.
So if somebody wants to join air traffic control,
yes,
as a profession, as a job, what is it that person needs to do? Like, is graduation compulsory, or could you just guide that?
Yeah. Nowadays, it's a BSc first class with physics and maths.
Okay.
Or engineering in computer science, or and other like engineering, I think.
Tech and all that.
BE and BSc like that. BE and BSc, that is requirement. There's a written test actually. Most of the marks is allotted in written test only.
Okay.
And of course that in the physical, after that there is a voice test. Voice test, normally everybody qualified. Normal, if a person is able to speak normally, means he qualified. And medical checkup of in the beginning itself, they used to carry out the psychoactive checks also. That's mandatory nowadays.
Okay.
After that, in medical, that's the thing.
And how long is the course?
Course is 1 year course.
Okay. And this is where? At Allahabad?
During our time, it was exclusive in Allahabad only. Nowadays, it's in Hyderabad also.
Okay.
So it's in Allahabad, as well as in Niatam, in that what is called Gondia.
Okay.
So there are 3 places actually where these courses are conducted. It's
Okay.
like that.
Okay. And then
So
after that, you get posted to
after
the
that you get
city.
posted.
Oh,
So initially for that's like, initially you got a what you call the trainee license, like a
okay.
trainee pilot and all these things. So they used to get a trainee air traffic controller license actually.
Okay.
So once you acquire that one in the training college, then after coming to the some station, then you have to get the rating of that particular units actually. Nowadays, like during our time, we used to get start with the tower unit.
Yeah.
So where visually you can see the aircraft, and then that is the tower rating, the first rating. Then we used to have the projection approach rating,
Mm-hmm.
and then we used to go for the approachal, I mean the terminal radar rating, terminal
Okay.
radar landing
Okay.
takeoff, and then the route radar rating. And of course, then we have got the ADS CPDLC also. I mean, this is the satellite based surveillance and communication system.
Okay.
And these are the rating which is awarded to the controller. So in each rating there are certain allowances also. So once you acquire the all the rating, you get I mean handsome amount of allowances also.
But that those ratings are done on the job.
Yes,
Post
on the
is
job there's
cleared on the
specified
job.
time.
You keep getting that
Yeah.
experience and you
Yes.
clear ratings and trainings and
Yes. There is a written
wonderful.
examination there. You have to qualify the written examination.
Yeah.
Then you have to do double banking along with the rated controller,
Whatever you are
along
already
with
doing. Yeah.
yeah, along with the instructor. Then after that, they say pre-board is there. After pre-board, there is a final board is there. And if the person is competent enough, he clears the board, then he is rated for that particular unit. And from that day, he started getting allowances for that particular unit.
Nice.
Apart from allowances, they get some sort of a stress allowance also. So
Okay.
if you are fully rated, actually, I mean, you get a good amount. I mean, rating allowance as well as stress allowance. I mean, handsome amount you get actually. So
Nice.
this is the way it goes. So that's the thing.
Thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful
Welcome.
conversation. Thank you. Anything else that we've not covered and you would like to share or say to the audience?
Yeah, life is, in the thing which I was in the saying in the beginning only. I mean, if you want to, rather in as an air traffic controller or as an administrator,
Mm.
I mean, in everybody you'll find, I mean, there is a stress in every job, whether you're an
Yeah.
administrator or air traffic controller. But a person should know how to relax actually, how to remain cool.
Mm.
Suddenly you increase your pressure and you always remain stressful. Somebody in your office, some boss has scolded you, and then whole night you couldn't sleep and all, that will unnecessarily spoil your health. I mean, the office, of course, you do get stressed many times, but then you should know actually how to relax also.
Yeah.
Like myself, I go for jogging, and in jogging, I don't run alone. Almost in the winters, almost every fortnightly, we used to go for marathon run also.
Mm.
And I have got, so in my team, I have got young boys actually, local boys only. They are my team members, they go. And
Yeah.
when I go for a jogging, do the marathon, come back, and far away in the open space, small dhabas are there. We used to have a cup of tea there in the early morning.
Yeah.
Those are de-stress actually.
Yeah.
You'll find the person who has seen early morning sun, rising sun, no?
Mm.
If you see, I mean,
Yeah.
that is a completely de-stressing.
Yes.
Rather than if you wake up late, I mean, then in my view, that is my personal, what I
Yes.
have observed, what I have seen in my
No,
life.
it's in fact what you're saying is in
Yeah.
fact even proven,
And
nature being in
yes,
nature
yes.
definitely takes
And
away stress.
what I have told you, having, with the group, with your own group, early morning, there is nobody is there. It's a
Yeah.
cool, and you're having a tea in the dhaba. Even those enjoyment you'll not get even in 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
Even those chit chatting and open space is there in front of you.
Absolutely.
Those
Yes.
are de-stressing factor. Some people are, sir, आपने बहुत अच्छा running किया. You are really running well. I mean, small thing it
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
A
Small
small
joys of life.
appreciation.
Yes.
Yes. A small person appreciate you means you also appreciate in that manner. That
Yeah.
always, there's a lot of de-stressing factor in that one. And
Oh,
people should know how to appreciate other. If if a person has done small thing, give him thanks actually.
yeah.
And you yourself, they will simply start liking you.
Mm.
And he'll become a friend. I mean, that's the way a person, I mean, we should lead our life. And
Yeah.
you will be always happy, you will be
Appreciating
always
moments,
healthy.
appreciating people.
Yes, that's very much required. I
Yeah.
mean, it's very much required.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
uh,
Rajender.
yeah.
Yeah. What else? You wanted to say
I
something?
remember one thing when I left Patna,
Hmm.
there was a farewell party,
Hmm.
and there was a lot of people appreciating about me. Only, sir, you have done this and this and that. And one of the peon was there.
Hmm.
He told me, sir, I will never forget you, this and that. You are so nice. So I told him I cannot forget it. Remember when I came, actually, I was staying in the guest room in the airport, and you used to bring breakfast from your home. At that time, nobody used to bring that. I used to homemade breakfast. You used to bring to my in my guest room for me, ekdam fresh breakfast. So those things also I also cannot forget.
Forget.
And that person almost, it was like a weeping. So this is the
Yes.
way actually you should remember each and every what person has done for you in their life. Small, small things. If you
Yeah,
just
we've
tell them, express
probably
them.
forgotten how to stay
Yeah,
connected, to treat
exactly.
each other as human beings.
Exactly right. Human touch is always, that will always distress your whole, whatever stress you must be having in the office or anywhere. That will always help you. That's the thing.
Absolutely. How
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome. 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 Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you.
All right. So we'll end this conversation here now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.